chat, a lot of stuff has been happening, and and then I got sick, so I haven't gotten around to this video. What were they thinking? By the background NPC. We love the background NPC. Let's watch this.
I have learned that if you love something long enough, eventually you're going to watch Hollywood destroy it. And if you're like me, you may tell yourself, no, maybe they'll leave this one alone. And you know that they
Surely they'll leave Avatar alone, right? Oh wait, authentic casting. Oh, never mind, Omega lol.
won't, but you hold on to the copium anyway.
Yeah, it really is just copium at this point, and I'm huffing a whole heap of it.
Yeah. Like vultures, we have watched Hollywood descend on fandom after fandom over the last decade, picking...
I'm really surprised they remade Harry Potter. I would have thought they didn't like J.K. Rowling. For someone who people try to cancel all the time, especially with Hogwarts Legacy, which Hogwarts Legacy 2 is going to come out. We'll see how... This is going to be quite the turning point, chat, on online, because I want to see how people are going to react to, what's the word? Hogwarts Legacy 2, right? Especially now that, hopefully, we're kind of out of that whole cancellation era. Or at least we try to be, right? Obviously, there's some stragglers out there. But I kind of want to see how this is going to go with number 2. I imagine no one's going to care anymore, right? Or they are going to care. But just people aren't going to listen anymore. But yeah, I am surprised how much, despite how much people hate J.K. Rowling, there's a lot of people out there still generating money for her.
Star Wars clean to the bone, sucking the life out of Marvel, butchering Lord of the Rings with $1 billion budget.
Chad, the only good thing about Marvel is that they still are making some Daredevil stuff and Punisher. I love the Punisher series with John Bernthal and what's his name? Something Cox from who plays Matt Murdock. They're great. Those guys are great. And honestly, I liked Iron Fist. I haven't watched season 2 though. I wasn't able to watch season 2, but the first season I really liked.
And if it is not a sequel
and
or
Luke
a
Cage.
spin-off,
Luke Cage is great.
it's a live-action remake. Snow White, Little Mermaid, Pinocchio. They even got their hands on Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Oh, boy.
One of my favorite shows of all time. And it actually...
To be fair. Actually, no, yeah, we're talking about it being turned into Hollywood. We're not really talking about it being turned woke. Because I was going to say, this is kind of before the whole woke thing. This movie was just naturally bad on its own.
actually hurts to talk about, I won't lie. And then...
Could be worse. Could be Dragon Ball Evolution.
They just scurry over to the next carcass as if nothing has happened. At this point, if it was ever animated, just assume a live action is coming.
Oh god, no.
I don't know,
please.
I give it 2 more years maybe before we get live action Shrek. Also, please
Why is it
excuse
The
my
Rock?
sick voice in this video. I'm sorry. I went to a Twice concert last week and someone there...
Twice? What a random... Huh. That's pretty cool. I'm not caught up on BTS. I was gonna say I'm not caught up on K-pop. The last K-pop band I even watched or knew about. I haven't been in K-pop so long. The last time I was into K-pop, BTS just debuted. I was literally there day 1 of BTS. That's it.
Got me really
And I
good.
never
But
got into another
as
one.
a Harry Potter
That's
fan,
when I dropped it.
I have got to say, we've actually had it pretty good so far. The Universal parks are amazing. Hogwarts Legacy was a really fun game. I do
Surely nothing
try
happened.
to block out the Fantastic Beasts movies, but overall,
Wait,
pretty good.
that's what happened with these movies? Are they? Oh, she said she blocked them out. I guess well, they're not that good. But yeah, I've never actually heard anything of these movies.
Good. So when HBO announced they were remaking Harry Potter, my first thought was, why? My second thought was also, why?
Yeah, my
But
third thought was
I
also
tried to
why.
remain hopeful because, I mean, who knows? I don't know. Maybe they'll be able to do it justice somehow, right? Then the more I learned about it, the less hopeful I became. A little over a week ago, they finally dropped the first trailer across the internet and racked up 277 million views in 48 hours, breaking every record HBO has. And while we don't know how this series is going to turn out,
I feel like 277 million isn't that much. Am I trolling? I think I'm trolling. I was gonna say, for a record breaking 277 million. Oh, maybe it is a lot. Maybe I'm underestimating it. Maybe it is a lot.
It's hard not to notice the pattern of Hollywood hijacking beloved worlds
Yeah.
and thinking they know better. I was blessed to grow up with a very loving and very nerdy dad. He is the one
Yeah.
who introduced me to Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Marvel, and so many others. He is a big reason my childhood was full of stories about courage, sacrifice, friendship, redemption, stories about good.
I'm pretty jealous of that. I had to learn that all on my own. I had to go down the nerd field my own way.
Defeating evil. And like so many people, these stories mean a lot to me. And
Yeah.
for the last decade plus, I have watched Hollywood slowly warp, deconstruct, and hollow out almost all of them through reboots, sequels, and adaptations, not building on them or honoring them, but chewing them up and spitting them back out as this decrepit, creatively bankrupt version of themselves that no one would watch if it didn't have a beloved name attached to it. Because that's kind of the whole trick, right? They can't get you in the door with their own ideas anymore, so they hold your favorite story hostage and then they bank on the fact that you love it too much not to show up, or they threaten to cast Jared Leto, which in John Barry's case, they unfortunately did both. But
chat, I don't know how people can sleep at night that knowing Jared Leto, he's out there.
it doesn't matter if the product is good, it just has to be familiar. And finally, it is Harry Potter's turn. I think I knew deep down they were going to come for it eventually.
I'm trying to think which one of these has actually been successful. Right? Like, I've seen I've seen studio after studio fail and fall down on their face. Surely the money at some point is running out, right? At this point, like, I don't even know anything about HBO. So I imagine nothing's really coming. Well, maybe the Game of Thrones money is still a little bit fat, right? Because surely they can't have this many failures and like still keep going, bro. At a certain point, the money has to run out, and then they can go back to making regular stuff.
I just didn't expect it to be so soon, you know?
Yeah.
The original films only ended in 2011, and they all still hold up incredibly well. I go back and rewatch them almost every year. Plus, there are so many other
I
stories.
think the last time I was rewatching them was actually at TwitchCon. Because they had a marathon going and I had nothing else to do. So I was like, I didn't go out to any party or anything. So I just kind of hung out in the hotel room by the convention. And I just watched Harry Potter. I just had it on the screen while I was chilling.
You could tell in the wizarding world, the founding of Hogwarts, the Marauders era, something totally original. That is what Hogwarts Legacy did, and it sold over 40 million copies. Clearly, people are still interested in this world.
Yeah, we had to get there to 40 million kicking and screaming, that's for sure. I mean, we weren't kicking and screaming. Blue Sky, or the people who would eventually inhabit Blue Sky were kicking and screaming at the Hogwarts Legacy. I guess they succeeded.
There really was no need to retell the one story we already have a good version of, but here we are. The thing is, if this really were about giving us something new, they would just do that. But an original Wizarding World story might not come with millions of trailer views or a like to dislike ratio that's getting pretty close to being ratioed. Yes, I did do my part. But Harry, Ron, Hermione, Hogwarts, the places and characters that you are already emotionally attached to, those will get the views. And this show is airing on HBO because nothing says magical childhood wonder like the network that also brought you Euphoria. Now, I know HBO is owned by Warner Brothers, but it also kind of tells you who this really is for.
Yeah.
The adults who are already emotionally attached to this story, not necessarily a new generation of kids. Everything I have seen so far just feels
this is
very
for
off.
millennials.
Certain characters look and feel uncanny, like Hagrid, who looks just like they found a regular guy.
Does that look like Asmund for some reason? Tell me that doesn't look like Asmund if he didn't just grow out his beard. Chat, I can't unsee it now. I said it once and I can't unsee it.
And then made him stand near shorter people. There's no whimsy anywhere.
Also, is that supposed to be Malfoy? They're gonna make him gay, aren't they? Yeah, they're gonna make him gay. They're gonna make it a yaoi ship. I know it.
A regular guy and then made him stand near shorter
That's gonna be
people.
weird.
There's no whimsy anywhere. It is dark.
It's gonna be weird because these
moody,
are kids.
cold. There were moments that I actually couldn't even see anything in the scene because HBO has this weird obsession with making things look like there was a power outage. Even the trailer music
Yeah.
feels so generic versus the incredibly
beginning of the
iconic
arts-
soundtrack that we are used to. Now, HBO did drop a behind-the-scenes special this past weekend, but
Finding
before I
Harry.
get into that, a quick thank you to
That kind of looks like Harry, right? I mean, the cast doesn't look terrible. I think the cast doesn't look terrible. I just don't think they're gonna be superstars like the Harry Potter cast, right? Like the Harry Potter cast was amazing. These probably are. I mean, they're gonna try their best, right? They're gonna try their best, but they have huge shoes to fill. If they don't live up to the old movies, I honestly wouldn't blame them, right? Because that cast was a once in a lifetime cast. They're probably not gonna live up to the hype, and that's they kind of that's not their fault, dude. They're following up some people who made it putting up like Michael Jordan numbers.
today's sponsor, Raycon.
Well,
Raycon.
spring is upon us, which means the sun has decided to start targeting me through my windows until I go outside. I live right by some hiking trails, and I have been getting back out there now that the weather is warming up, and I really like bringing my Raycon
Wow, NPC goes outside. That's the most unrelatable thing she's ever said.
open earbuds with me so I can listen to music and still hear the world around me. Birds, the crunch of leaves, a bear growling in the distance.
Oh God.
You know, all the essentials.
I
God.
prefer these
Oh,
over
no.
regular earbuds, which can seal you off completely. And on a hiking trail, that could genuinely be a threat to your survival, or at the very least, to your dignity. They are lightweight, and the earbuds do a great job of staying put thanks to the hook. The battery lasts 36 hours, which outlasts my will to go uphill by a lot. And the sound quality is also great. They are the kind of thing where once you have a pair, you might start thinking about who else in your life will like them. Mother's Day is right around the
I
corner.
just look like a
and if
modeling
your mom
video.
is someone who is always
Also,
on walks
I didn't
or glued
realize-
to a podcast,
I don't know if it's the lighting. I didn't realize how pretty she is.
saying these could be a very easy win for you.
What is
Plus,
happening?
You
What
get
am I
a 30-day
watching?
guarantee, so there is no risk either way.
If you're interested in checking them out,
Someone put like an anime emotional background, and that's gonna be like the love scene for. Put the background music for a silent voice, and tell me people won't fall in love with her.
buyraycon.com/backgroundnpc open to get
Also, I'm not. You know what? If I speak, I would get in trouble. The content's for free. I'm not making fun of our sponsor.
15% off. Thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Now back to the behind the scenes special. The show doesn't come out until the end of this year, and we have zero connection to any of these actors. So that is clearly just HBO going, hey, you remember how much you love this world? And look, to be fair, the sets, costumes, animatronics, art, it all looked very beautiful, but that was never really my concern. The problem is that the people actually building this world are beholden to the people at the
Finding
top.
Harry.
The writers,
go?
casting directors, and decision makers. And by
Finding
choosing to
Harry?
retell a story we already have
Where
a
did he
recent version
go?
of, really, the only way to justify it would be to fully honor the source material and bring out all of the special details from the books that the movies were not able to. This is something they have said is a top priority, yet they have chosen to fundamentally change how we perceive one of the most important characters in the story, which brings us to the Snape casting.
Oh,
now, I
boy.
personally have nothing against this actor, okay? I am sure he is very talented, but if the entire justification for retelling this story so soon is we're going to be more faithful to the books, Snape is clearly described in them, and they chose someone who is his
Yeah, this is not Snape. When you look at him, you don't think Snape. Why? Here's my question. Okay, and I thought about this the other day because we were talking about this when it came to voice acting. Tell me why, when someone is not on screen, right? That would be a voice actor. Tell me when they are not on screen, for some reason, people, I blame you, ProZD, people have this obsession of having authentic casting. You have no idea who these people are. Like Branya from Honkai Star Rail, you will never know who she is because she has a pseudonym. She has never been seen. But when it comes to people on screen, that's when we get rid of authentic casting. That's when we can start race swapping people. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, bro. What's the point? I don't get it. This guy looked like, even if you were gonna put like a black guy as Snape, this guy looks too cool to be Snape, right? Look at him. This guy is very handsome. He's very cool. He's very cool. He's very good looking. That's not what you think about when you think of Snape. They literally describe this dude. They literally described Snape in the books. I know because I've been following this story. This guy didn't look nothing like it. They gotta like downgrade him to actually get him to Snape-like.
Polar opposite. Literally. Just look at that charming smile. So
Look at him. It's not even like the dress. There's nothing else but that he looks way too cool. Look at that smile. That smile could light up a room, which would probably be a good thing because, you know, most of these sets are insanely dark. But, like, I don't remember the last time I seen Snape smile. Especially not in the first few movies. What is happening? He smiled in the trailer. You lost me already. I'm there. I'm out. You lost me already. You lost the plot.
right out of the gate, the book faithfulness argument kind of falls apart on its own, and then it starts to make you question what other changes they've decided to make to the story. On top of that, many fans have pointed out the weird racial elements this introduces for a character that
is legitimately Asmongold. It really is. Tell me it's not Asmund, dude.
never meant to be there in a series that already had an allegory for racism built right into it, I might add. And people have asked, how could HBO not see this? But I don't think it's like that.
I bet the bank scenes are gonna be changed. I'm pretty sure.
At all. I think HBO knows exactly what they're doing, and honestly, it is kind of a genius play because now they get to lecture fans about racism.
Great. A show that is most likely just gonna be seen by millennials who are having a bad time in life and are like, I want to relive my childhood, and because I've never grown up anyway, so I might as well rewatch Harry Potter. Great. Now you're gonna lecture to them because you're not gonna lecture to kids. I doubt a kid was gonna watch this show.
Real life, while lecturing your favorite characters about it inside the show itself.
Great.
It is a 2-for-1 deal.
Actually, that might be a genius idea. You can kind of rewrite all this stuff to fit the narrative you want instead of fitting what J.K. Rowling put into it originally, because I imagine Hollywood doesn't like J.K. Rowling, right? She just makes too much money for them to ignore. I imagine that's probably going to be something. There's probably an angle there.
Marketing team must have popped champagne on this one because it is already all anyone is talking about.
Oh boy.
But it is not just the casting. There is the J.K. Rowling of it all, who is actually an executive producer on this show. Apparently, she helped pick the showrunner and has worked very closely with the writers. She's visited the set. And yet, John Lithgow, who is playing Dumbledore, went on a podcast trying to distance himself from her and said she's not really involved in this production at all. And even still, people were urging him to walk away just because of his association with her. You always hear everyone talking about separating the art from the artist, but Hollywood itself seems to have a really hard time doing that.
Yeah.
They will use her IP and adapt her life's work, but they need you to know that they don't agree with her first. And when the people making your show can barely acknowledge the person...
Because that's the first thing I think about when I think about J.K. Rowling. Wow, I wonder if this person agrees with her. That's the first thing I think about. Because I have nothing else to do in my life, apparently. I'm just that unemployed that I'm like, yeah. I wonder if this random person just agrees with this other random person. They better tell me or I'm going to cancel them on twitter.com.
Person who wrote this story, you have to wonder how faithful an adaptation you are actually going to get. I will be honest with you, this show is probably going to shatter every record HBO has. I mean...
Maybe. Depends how many records they have. Maybe. I imagine it'll be like Star Wars, where the first episode will be... No, not Star Wars. Scooby-Doo, with like that Scooby-Doo reboot. I imagine the first episode or two will be seen, and then no one's going to watch the rest of it. That's just what I think.
I am also going to be watching it, okay? And I just spent 5 minutes telling you why I'm worried about it.
I'm good.
They got me. But that is the whole trick. They know people like me who grew up with this series will have a very hard time not tuning in. Doesn't matter if I think it will be good or not, I just have to know what they did with it. And it is not just John
fair.
Lithgow with Harry Potter. You see the same kind of embarrassment leaking into the new Tomb Raider series too. Sophie Turner was very quick to say that her Lara Croft will not be a bombshell and that it is not about how she looks at all.
It better be. No, it's going to be. Nah, I don't think you understand. It's going to be. You guys are going to be you're going to be what we decide you're going to be. That's it.
Which is very strange, considering that is an iconic part of that character. Like, imagine
If you guys don't want to be what these characters are, why not just don't sign up for the character? Simply don't do the job. Go do something else. There's probably another show you can go be casted in. Why be in the show where you're like, yeah, I don't agree with this, so I better make sure I go in there and get casted for it. Great. Good job.
someone getting cast as
Dumbass.
James Bond, and their first interview is, don't worry, he's not going to be cool or suave. No, you think that they were joking. But if you are embarrassed by the thing
I still would love to see Idris Elba as James Bond. Although I think Idris said that he wouldn't do it because I think he said something that James Bond is like a show or a series you kind of commit to a little too hard. And I think Idris didn't want to commit that hard to that kind of series, so I think that's why he didn't want to play James Bond. If I'm remembering correctly, Chad, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Idris himself turned it down.
you are adapting, why adapt
He would have been
it?
great though.
But Harry Potter is just the latest
he's
one
such a
to
prime
get the
example
adaptation
of
treatment.
suave
This has been
British
happening
gentleman.
across the board for years now. The Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy are some of the greatest movies ever made, created by people who genuinely loved and respected the source material and the author's vision for it.
I think Hololive
And
just
that is
watched
something
this,
you
right?
could feel in every frame. Then time passes and Amazon comes along, spends $1 billion on Rings of Power, and it gives us a hollowed out version of Middle Earth that probably has more in common with a LinkedIn diversity statement than anything Tolkien ever wrote.
I get when you mess up something that's, say, like Assassin's Creed Shadows or, Dragon Age the Veil Guard. I understand when you mess that up because you kind of have to write it from the ground up. When you're going into an existing IP like this that has tons of books and written material and you still somehow mess it up, I think there's no excuse. Like, if they're going to remake Harry Potter and they don't do it word for word, beat for beat, there's no excuse. There's literally a layout of how the show should be. And you still mess it up.
Now we have got Hunt for Gollum coming because
Oh, great.
apparently that needs to be a whole movie.
Sure.
And
Who's
a
in this? Elijah Wood. Huh. Elijah Wood's coming back. Shout out to Elijah Wood.
Stephen Colbert and Son Lord of the Rings
God,
project.
not Stefan.
Which, look, I
Not
know
Stephen
Colbert
Colbert.
is a big Tolkien fan, but he's also someone who let his political ideologies take over his own show so hard
Great.
that his audience left and the show got canceled. For some reason, someone
Right.
looked at that track record and went, yeah, give him Middle Earth.
You can only fail upward in Hollywood, apparently.
I'm sure that will work out. It is not just Middle Earth.
For
At this
Stephen
point, you can just run down the list. Star Wars, Marvel, Star
Colbert.
Trek. Their latest show, Starfleet Academy, aired in January.
God, what a... I watched Scoo talk about this. What a train wreck that was, bro. That is like one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen. It's like laughably bad, bro. It's not even laughably bad. It is astonishingly bad. Like, I don't know how you made that happen that terribly. It's impressive. It really
this
is.
year, and just 2 months later announced its cancellation after purportedly pulling
Right.
in around 40,000 viewers per episode. I wonder why. But sometimes it is not just laziness, it is active contempt for the source material, and maybe the most telling example of that is The Witcher on Netflix. Henry Cavill loved Geralt so much that he campaigned to play him. The man would correct people on lore. That is how
Wait,
much
did this show not do well? I never watched it. I never really heard anything about it, which sucks because If you were to ever put anyone in Hollywood into a nerdy IP, I would put Henry Cavill in it. He knows, bro. He just knows. I would put Henry Cavill. If they ever made a Warhammer 40K anything, I would put him in it. Honestly,
she cared about it, and the writers openly admitted that they did not like the books that they were adapting. So you have a lead actor who,
dude. Guys, you don't have to do this. I hope you know that. You can go do something else. Legitimately, you don't have to do that job. You don't have to sign up to write the next Witcher. You can just leave. You know that, right? You don't have to do that.
loves it,
Oh, boy.
audiences that love it, a source material that is...
Poor Henry Cavill, then. Wait, did she say people liked it?
So you have a lead actor who loves it, audiences that love it, a source material that is beloved, and the people actually steering the ship could not be bothered with any of it. They drove out the one man in the room who actually cared, and the show fell apart almost.
No, bro. Damn it, bro. I hate seeing that, dude, because this is just gonna... This sucks for Henry Cavill. I'm more worried about Henry Cavill than anyone else, dude. I don't care. I don't care about the writers. They fire him. I hope they lose their job. Henry Cavill, a man who has passion for this source material, I wish they had given him something to work with, because I know he would have loved it, dude. It would have been so cool for him. It may have less to do with Liam Hemsworth than the adhering to source material. Okay. God, people are whatever.
Immediately. Then there's Wuthering Heights. The director took the...
Are you talking about Wuthering Waves? The 3.3 thing coming out soon with new resonator Hayuki and having 60 free No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. You think I'm advertising Wuthering Waves? Hell no, bro. I'm about to uninstall it when NTE comes out. Fuck that.
Classic English literature openly admitted...
Wait, what is this? Wuthering Heights? I heard Wuthering Waves. I heard Wuthering Waves and went blank.
She half remembered it, cut the entire second half, and just made a modernized version of something that she wanted to tell instead. Why even do that at all?
I don't know, bro.
Just call it something else. Well, she can't, because Wuthering Heights is worth an $83 million opening weekend. Her original idea probably is not. But that is the pattern. These studios...
Wait, is that good or is that bad? Wuthering Waves opens to 38 million in North America, 83 million globally over President's Day weekend. Is that good or is that bad? How much was it worth? Wait, how much did Wuthering Waves cost? I legitimately don't know. Wuthering budget. Wuthering Waves' budget is 80 million. Wait, they made it back. Budget and box office. Okay, so I had a budget of 80 million, grossing over 240 million worldwide. Unfortunately, it landed. I'll be damned. I've never even heard of Wuthering Heights. I'm still calling it Wuthering Waves. All right, fair enough, dude. Fair enough.
Again, her original idea probably is not. But that is the pattern. These studios can't get you in the door with their own ideas, so they need the franchise names. But then they get the keys and immediately go, well, actually, we know better. They fix it. They inject whatever they want
Dude,
into...
things just need to have... New things need to be taken chances on. They need to start making new IPs or something. Like, come on, bro. Just stop remaking everything.
They adapt it for the modern audience, and like...
Has anyone ever found the modern audience, by the way? I feel like we're still trying to look for him. Like, you're trying to look for Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying? You'll see a grainy picture of a member of the modern audience, right? You're like going through the woods late at night, and then it's like, hey, there he goes. That's him. That's the modern audience type, and he runs away, out of shape, out of breath, with blue hair. That's him. That's the modern audience. I see him. And then he's never seen again, Chad. And then you wonder, was that real? The picture you took, it's a little grainy. No one really believes you. It could be just someone who spilled paint in the woods. I don't know, chat. Well, we'll have to see.
clockwork, it starts to fall apart. Because there
What was
really
that
are
promo I
only
just cut?
two ways to approach someone else's story. You either show up asking, how do I do this justice? Or you show up asking, how can I make this fit my worldview? And
How can I get
think it is
paid without
pretty
having to do
clear
work?
which one we keep on getting.
Yeah.
But all right, that is a lot of doom and gloom. I do
I
actually
think they need to just stop. They just need to stop hiring activists. But it sucks because like the people who you imagine to be the activists go to like, film school and stuff like that, and it's like, great, now you guys are leading this bullshit. Great.
want to talk about an adaptation that I think nailed it recently, and I almost didn't watch it because I have been burned way too many times. I'm not gonna lie to you, after season 8 of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon season 2, I was pretty much done with the Game of Thrones universe. So when people started raving about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms,
What the hell is
I
that?
thought they were all fibbing. But like a moth to a flame, I dipped back into the world and I was completely blindsided by how much I loved it. The
Ooh.
shooting on location, the great casting choices, the dialogue that sounds like actual people and not a writer's room full of people trying to sound smart. Now, episode 5 did lose me a bit with that 20-minute flashback. I will not lie. But overall, the episodes
filler
leave you
episode,
wanting
huh?
more. It probably cost a fraction of what House of the Dragon cost, and I enjoyed it 1,000 times more. But the real reason this show works is that the people making it clearly thought George R.R. Martin's story was already good enough. They didn't try to fix Dunk, they didn't modernize him or complicate his heroism or even treat his protectiveness as something toxic that he needed to outgrow. He is just a big, good-hearted, heroic man, and the show is fully behind him on that. He is not a chosen one or
Very
has
cool.
a special prophecy or a secret bloodline. He is just a nobody taken in by a hedge knight trying to be the type of man that knight raised him to be. And then there is Egg, who is honestly just the cutest, but he is also so endearing and smart. The
That's
show
cute.
lets you root for both of them, and the brotherhood and found family energy taps into one of the oldest traditions that we have in fantasy. I truly am a sucker for the hero's journey, and I am patiently waiting for season 2. I just hope that they can keep up what they built, because it has been a long time since I have felt this way about a modern fantasy series. And Knight isn't the only one getting it right recently. Netflix's live-action One Piece had every reason to be a disaster. Typically, live-action anime adaptations have
Yeah.
maybe the worst track.
It really is. Like, I seen season 1, and it was the best live action anime anything I've seen. Mostly because everything else has set the bar really, really low. Right? I'm trying to think of anything that I've seen that was anything that was kind of good. I can't really think of anything. Oh, the Rurouni Kenshin movies were actually pretty good in my opinion. I really liked them. Right? I like Sanosuke. I like who played Kenshin. I kind of really liked it. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, One Piece live action is actually really good. It blew me away. It surprised me. God, it's way better than the other one, Cowboy Bebop. That was a little rough. That was a little rough, but I haven't watched season 2 yet. I have to watch season 2. I'm gonna watch it. I'm just trying to watch Freerun right now. I only need 3 more episodes.
Record in all of entertainment, but Netflix brought on Oda, the actual creator of
Oda.
the manga, as an executive producer. He was very involved in casting and had a huge say in the show, and the fans have just loved it. Compare that to something like Cowboy Bebop, where
Oh, God,
it felt
yeah.
like they were somehow embarrassed by the original. And it shows. Even the Super Mario movies, Nintendo was heavily involved. First one made $1.36 billion.
Yeah, dude, it's by Nintendo. Obviously, they're gonna be heavily involved. Dude, they don't let people do nothing.
The sequel, which I haven't seen yet, just opened to $372 million globally. Project Hail Mary, the original author, was involved as a producer and also has
Oh,
gone
it was
on
an
record
original IP?
saying that
That's pretty
focusing
cool.
on making a good movie and avoiding crappy identity politics has aided in its success.
Hell yeah.
They're already past 420 million. It's funny how that
Very
works.
bug.
If you are adapting something, it is rarely
Yeah, it's crazy when you just talk to someone instead of preaching at them. They tend to listen more. I'm not gonna lie. That That might be something that they should keep in mind.
A bad idea to have the people who created and or love the source material in the room with you, and yet somehow that is still
That's
the
gotta be
exception
dude,
and
that's gonna
not
be
the
so
rule.
cool to
But
meet Oda.
unfortunately, the bar should not be. They respected the source material and didn't try to fix the story. That should just be the
Bare
default.
minimum,
And
yeah.
even with the ones that do get it right, I'm not gonna pretend I'm a fan of Hollywood.
Like a toxic girl on TikTok, like a toxic girl in the TikTok comment section would say, that should be bare minimum. Clock it.
In general, from celebrities who hate us but still need us to buy tickets, to flying out to island and then lecturing us about morality and wondering why nobody wants to sit through 2 hours of being preached at. On top of
Yeah, we're talking about you, Mark Ruffalo.
that, these people have access to all of the money, all of the resources, and all the talent in the world. HBO was reportedly spending up to $100 million an episode on Harry Potter. Amazon, as we know, spent $1 billion on Rings of Power. Disney spends anywhere between 200 and 300 million per live action remake.
I got a better idea. How about you stop spending so much? Give people like 5 to 10 million, and then just let them figure it out. They have to work on whatever. That way, they have to work within a They have to work on a small budget, and they have to make sure they get it right the first time. Because if not, they're fucked.
You have
That
access
would be
to
funny
the
to me.
best craftspeople, the best technology, budgets that filmmakers 20 years ago
Make people
would not
work
have even dreamed
work
of,
under
and
pressure.
you were using all of it to make worse versions of stories that already exist. We saw 40,000 people show up for Starfleet Academy, maybe, and 26 million for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. The audience isn't tired of these stories. They are tired of watching them get handed to people who think that they are above them. But when someone gets it
It's
right,
true.
people will show up every single time. Because at the end of the day, all any of us really want is to love these stories the way we used to. But it's pretty difficult when so often the people in charge of making them have contempt for both the stories and the people who love them. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here. I would love to know what you think about everything. Are you going to be checking out the new Harry Potter series? Let me know in the
No,
comments
probably
below.
not.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.
Maybe actually. We'll see. I don't know. I don't have HBO Max. Although maybe, because I think they have DC stuff on HBO Max. I wouldn't mind watching that. Chat. I think that's a pretty good time to stop. I think, or that's a pretty good starting point. Chat. Let me know how you guys feel. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.